Welcome to the course on exercising humility and authority in service delivery. This is course number 3 under the character pillar, the person of the teacher. Every teacher walks into the classroom wearing an invisible crown of authority. Students listen, they follow, they imitate, and sometimes even fear you. But authority without humility becomes arrogance, and humility without authority becomes weakness. Let me repeat that. Authority without humility becomes arrogance. Humility without authority becomes weakness. That said, the true art of teaching lies in understanding the power dynamics and leveraging it for good. Be firm enough to lead, humble enough to grow, and worthy enough to stick to your values. A teacher cultivates through trust, not control or intimidation. Think about your favorite teacher growing up. Was it in their authority you respected or their humility that you loved? Chances are it was both. Children, interestingly, like you to have authority and they like you to do otherwise. Children thrive in classrooms that feel structured, predictable, and safe. Authority provides the safety and clarity. In a JHS class in Accra, for example, a teacher introduced a simple signal. When she raises her hands, students stop talking and raise their hands too. Within 3 weeks, the noise levels in her class dropped by 60%, a whopping 60%. All she did was introduce a hand raising, where she does it and they follow. She didn't raise her voice, she raised her standard. In Finland, for example, teachers rarely yell. They lead with signals, routines, and consistency. Students know the rules won't change tomorrow because they've built trust. On Bradstreet, a poet, writes that authority without wisdom is like a heavy axe without an edge. Authority is not harshness. It's creating structure, setting boundaries, and ensuring learning happens. When authority is grounded in consistency, not fear, classrooms transform from chaos to calmly order. How consistent are you with your rules, tone, and follow-throughs? Would your students say they know your boundaries? Because humility is not weakness, it's strength under control. It's the quiet courage to say, I do not know yet. Imagine a classroom where a science student asks a teacher about climate change. Instead of bluffing, she smiles and says, I don't know yet. Why don't we find out together? That single moment models lifelong learning better than any textbook could teach. Another teacher wrongly accuses a student of cheating. Instead of brushing it off, she apologized publicly. The result? The class respected her even more. Humility builds bridges faster than authority can ever do. C.S. Lewis again reminds us that true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. Humility reminds students that the learning is a journey and that even teachers are travelers on the path. Think about a recent mistake you made as a teacher. How could admitting it strengthen your bond and relationship with your students? South African statesman Nelson Mandela once said, lead from the back and let others believe they are in front. That's the perfect picture of teaching. Some days you lead from the front, setting direction. Other days you step aside and let students discover. To provide a vivid example of this, think about a teacher who has set a strict rule, a strict no phone in class rule, exerting her authority as a teacher. Instead of punishing or inflicting pain on a student, she proceeds to explain why, again the why, phones are not allowed in the classroom, allowing the learners to own the responsibility. She doesn't stop there. She further continues to invite them to create a phone drop-off box with agreements regarding disciplinary measures. What has she or he done? Suddenly, obedience turns into ownership and accountability. Think about your current circumstances today. Where can you enforce a rule firmly, but invite students into the reason behind it? Write this down, one example at least, and try it this week. Each week, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is rarely true, 5 is always true. Draw 3 columns and 6 rows. In the first row, or simply listen and grade yourself. I'm just going to read some statements out loud. When I read them out loud, you score yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest. Is that okay? Or the truest statement? So number 1, I set clear rules and consistently enforce them. How do you score yourself? Number 2, I admit mistakes or say I do not know yet when needed. So number 1, I set clear rules and consistently enforce them. Score yourself 1 really true, 5 true, or 5 being the highest. Number 2, I admit mistakes or I do acknowledge that I do not know yet when I need be. Number 3, I give students a voice while monitoring structure. Number 4, my students know what I stand for. They know my values, they know my expectations. Number 5, my students feel safe to approach me. So let me read this again. Number 1 is I set clear rules and consistently enforce them. Number 2 is that I admit mistakes or say I do not know yet when need be. Number 3 is that I give students a voice while monitoring structure. Number 4, my students know what I stand for, my values, my expectations, my non-negotiables. Number 5, my students feel safe to approach me. So if you scored between 20 and 25, you are a balanced leader. You inspire through authority and humility. If you scored between 15 and 19, you're a titled leader. You may lean too far on one side. So do a sober reflection and decide how you can harmonize both. If you scored below 15, you're in the danger zone. You may be too harsh or too lenient. Adjust it now. So for your gem step, choose one focus area every single week for the next 3 weeks. Week 1 could be authority. Start class the same way every single day with a calm presence, predictable routine to build consistency in authority. Week number 2, you may choose humility. End class by asking, what's the one thing that I can do better as your teacher? Feedback builds trust, and it also invites the learners to support your growth. So when you give them feedback, they receive it much better. Week 3 could be balance or harmony. Invite your students to co-create one class rule or decision. Shared leadership builds ownership. Let us know which gem step you are starting with this week in the comments below so we can help you stay accountable to them. Until we see you in the next course, remember that exerting your authority alone makes you a red zone leader. Learning to utilize your authority in humility makes you a leader worthy of following. When you balance strength with service and guidance with grace, you model the kind of leadership the world needs most today. Be strong enough to guide, humble enough to grow, and wise enough to know when to do which. We wish you well. When you feel overwhelmed, repeat after me. I lead with strength, I teach with grace, and I grow with humility. Always remember that. We hope we have been helpful to you. Do like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave your comment or question. We look forward to seeing you in the next course under character, developing discipline and consistency in the classroom. See you soon.